ahead and show you these tweeter rings that your boy made today, man. Let's get it. Yesterday we actually got back on the door panels, man. Yesterday we cut a lot of the door panel out. We cut everything out so we have all the clearance that we need to go ahead and mount our speaker rings, and as well when it's time to actually mount the speakers in the door panels when they're finally done. And yesterday as well too, we actually went ahead and did our mounting points as well too. We went ahead and drilled some holes, countersunk them, and then we put some bolts through with some fiberglass and laid some fiberglass resin on top of it to secure the door panel. Now we actually have some thread so we can put a nut on it once the door panels are done to secure them from ever falling or sagging or any of that type of stuff. For today's video, I'm going to go ahead and make some speaker rings for this PRV tweeter. I need to go ahead and make sure that I have all the strips that I need so we can be able to raise, lower our speaker rings whenever we go ahead and mount the rings finally on the door panel. And now we are almost at 8,000 subscribers, guys, man. Definitely, man, smash that subscribe button, man. Hit the like on the video, man, to push it out. And drop some comments, man. Drop the speaker emoji, or let me know where you guys are watching the video from, man. But that's it for now. Let's go ahead and get started on today's project, man. We have to make a ring for this PRV tweeter. I could easily just go the easy route out and just make a square tweeter and do my step round over on it and it be done, but that would just defeat the purpose of the word custom that I am doing for these door panels. So pretty much I am gonna make a ring it's gonna start off square, but we are gonna follow the roundness of the tweeter. But the key is not to make the ring the same exact size of the tweeter, because I want to give it at least a 1/4 inch lip all the way around, so when we go ahead and do our step round over, so we have, you know, this much of play with our step round over, so we don't have to worry about much versus what we actually had to do for our speaker ring. But that's because we're doing countersink rings for the speakers, so we didn't have that much of wood on the border right here to play with. And I think I am gonna give myself at least 5.5 on the width. I am gonna go ahead and probably just give myself probably 6 1/4. So that should pretty much give me all the room that I need to go ahead and have all the clearance that I am looking for in order to do that step round over, so it's not thin at all. And then after that, the ring won't be as bulky, because some people always tend to make the rings a little bit bigger, but I just want them just to look somewhat just natural, just to fit the actual door panel. So you see we're starting off with fresh squares, and we need to actually go ahead and do our round over on the corners to get the contour of the tweeter itself. So for my corners, I'm just gonna actually go ahead and get this cup and just use the roundness of it, and I'm just gonna put it corner to corner, just so it'll give me somewhat of a deep curve, and then trace it out with my pencil. I'm not gonna like put any pressure on it because I don't want to lose the shape of the actual cup, so it gives me a pretty nice wide round. You see how it's giving me the wide round, and how pretty much this is a wide round. It's not like a full circle. See how it's more of like a tall roundness of it. It's not like a full circle. And now look at this real quick. You see how it is? I feel like that gives it almost the similar look of that, but we still have enough space to go ahead and give us our lip once we actually do the cutout and the tweeter sits in place. And you see, guys, this is another perfect example of why I make the videos and why I make them like this and use the stuff that I use, because sometimes, you know, we don't have the luxury of having the cool tools that they sell or access to all those type of tools to build the projects right. But pretty much anything will work if you use your imagination and know how to make it work. Obviously, if we would have had the proper tool to do the cutout line for the tweeter that we were working on, it would definitely work. but you know, it's not nowhere around me, nor do they sell it here, and I don't have time to order it, or maybe, you know, I'm in a situation where I cannot afford it, so I use the next best thing. And listen, this ring's gonna look dope after I get done with it. This is the definition of fake it till you make it, guys, and we're definitely gonna make it one day and have all those tools, man. But for now, man, your boy's here to teach you how to use ordinary stuff that you got laying around to do badass car audio projects. Convenient of your backyard. You see it, guys, man. We do it. Watch these rings at the end of this video, man. To do the cutout for the actual tweeter to fit inside there's many ways that you could do it, and what always works for me is I just pretty much laid the tweeter face down, it somewhere pretty much where I feel that it looks pretty center, and then, you know, I trace it out, and then I just draw dots on the screw points, and then I'll just come back and make a circle that stays pretty much inside those dots, and, you know, just try to draw a real nice round cutout, and then cut that out, and then my tweeter's gonna fit all the time. And then pretty much it's just a cutout so to sit in there, and then once we actually cut out the wood ring and we go to mount the tweeter, you can just position the tweeter nice and straight, and it's always gonna fit good. I am gonna actually go ahead and do my method, just because I know my method always works and it never lets me down. And why switch up on, you know, what I know what works for myself. Maybe the other way probably works for you, but this is what works for me, and this is what I've been doing for all these years. You see what I'm saying? Drawing the dots. And you see right there, I have somewhat of the speaker outline of it, but I could just come through and just draw a nice round cutout. And then when I go ahead and cut this guy out, it is just gonna fit right in, guys. Okay, so we got our cutout lines ready. Let's go ahead and do our hole. Let's do our hole for so we can cut it out. I always find it a lot easier to do my cutout first, and then cut my corners so it's not flopping around like crazy if I were to cut the circle last and do the cutout on the corners first. So now my hole is cut out. Go ahead and put the tweeter in there. You see? Nice. See, once we actually cut those corners out, man, and we put the router round over on it, man, this ring's gonna look really badass. So now that our cutout is done, we need to go ahead and notch these corners off, and then sand them down so they're nice and smooth before we actually get on the router. Go ahead and clean these guys up with my DA sander before I actually go ahead and router these guys out and put that step round over on them.
few moments later.
Since we're doing normal size speaker rings, we can actually go ahead and put the regular size round over bit back on my router. And please guys, be very careful with the router, man. Like I said, I've seen people eat it on the router. And the last thing I want to hear is stories about how you guys ate it as well too. We're gonna go ahead and set this guy up so we see a little bit of teeth, but that's a little bit too much. So let's actually go ahead and push it out a hair. And you see how much that tooth is hanging out? I think we should be fine right there. It's gonna give us a nice step. You see the step, and we actually have our lip that we're looking for. We could probably go a little bit deeper, which we probably will go, just so I know that it gives me the lip that I like, man. I like that strong, deep lip on it. Like you see, now that thing is deep. Let's see what it do. You see how deep that lip is versus that one? Man, this is the money shot right here. That's definitely it. Let's go ahead and router these bad boys out. Rings are done, man. They look really badass. I'm going to show them to you here in a little bit, but let's get on to the next part of today's project. In order for us to actually mount our speaker rings on the door panels, we actually need to go ahead and cut wood strips like this. I actually need a lot of them, but they're pretty much for the purpose is they determine the height on how high and how low we actually want to go with our speaker rings on the door panels itself. In some areas we probably just need to mount it to the actual fiberglass mold itself, but as you can see right here, it looks kind of like lopsided, so we'd probably have to put a dowel on it to go ahead and bring it up. See, on yesterday's video we actually cut this section out right there, and if we would actually left this section, this ring would have just made a hard angle. But with us cutting this section out, man, now we have pretty much a lot to play with this ring, so we can actually, you know, angle it up, put it up or whatever. One tip that I will give you guys when doing door panels or anything that has to do with rings and you're going to fiberglass them and they're going to get wrapped in vinyl, always picture what it's going to look like and how hard it would be if you would have to wrap it in vinyl. Some people go the easy way out and take the panel to go get stitched with different pieces, but I feel like when you stitch the pieces together, it just makes the door panel look that much cheesier. I like one solid uniform wrap door panel, and sometimes you just have to go ahead and make sure that you put fair enough angles for yourself for it not to contradict yourself when you wrap it. Now sometimes when you have your tweeter and your speaker up one higher than the other, you're gonna have to go ahead and heat your vinyl up and press it and then wrap it over. But you know, always make sure that you give yourself enough play to be able to wrap that vinyl with it, because if not, you're just going to get a small wrinkle somewhere and then it's going to be impossible to get that out. But sometimes people go ahead and stitch the vinyls together just so it'll make it work. But like I said, I am not a fan of stitching the vinyl for the door panels. So when we actually go ahead and build this door panel, we just need to like picture in the future and just have a real good imagination and a vision of what direction we actually want to take. Because we don't want to create more work for ourselves. Fiberglass work is already hard as it is, and now imagining having to wrap it in vinyl. Imagine you're already scot-free, it's already sanded and everything, and then you got to wrap it in vinyl, and that's even more of a nightmare than actually building it and doing the sanding process, man. That's where a lot of people mess up, and they end up just spray painting it, rock lining it, all kinds of stuff, and now all the hard work that you put into your door panel, man, it's all lost because you know, you didn't, you know, plan ahead and you didn't make sure that the moves you made for the door panel were going to be beneficial to you in the long run. Well, let me actually go ahead and cut some strips out of the MDF that I have right here. Then after we get done with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you what the tweeter rings look like. And they look bomb, they look fire. You guys be the judge of it in the comments, man. Let me know what's good. But for now, man, let's get cutting. pretty much got enough stands cut out to be able to mount our speaker rings. I don't like to make them as wide as 3/4 because I don't want to have to grind any corners or anything off when they're actually mounted. I just like to put them and them sit inside the actual width of the ring. We will be using a chop saw to cut these guys so they get a nice cut edge line and everything, so they mount down flat. And I will be using hot glue to go ahead and mount them on the panel itself. So we cut out all of our stands that we need to make our fiberglass panels work. Now let's go ahead and show you these tweeter rings that your boy made today, man. Check these guys out. Look at this. They look pretty good. Look, and then we got our step round over that we are looking for. Both of them. Now let's go ahead and see what this looks like with the tweeter in it. I keep telling you guys, man, with good creativity, imagination, and a little bit of thinking, man, look at this tweeter ring, guys. Pretty dead on. It fits the shape of the tweeter itself. Man, I wouldn't ask for anything better, guys. This thing is bomb diggity dog. All right, so I ran out of space on my camera. Man, I have to go get another SD card today. But man, yeah, these tweeter rings came out really badass with just using the resin cup and a little bit of imagination and the tools that we got. All in the comfort of the backyard working, man. Look, say what's up, man. Say what's up to the YouTube. Say what's up to YouTube. Yeah, he ain't even going to school today. All right. Okay, so on the next video, we are actually going to go ahead and start mounting these rings up so these door panels can finally start looking like something, man. I'm very excited. Man, these door panels are going to be dope. Homeboy just actually came over right now and took a look at them, and he says, man, he's loving it. He didn't expect for me to go into detail with a lot of this stuff. But, man, we do what we can around here. So with all that being said, guys, man, your boy is going to go ahead and call it quits for today. I truly appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the tweeter ring build, and getting pretty much ready to go ahead and mount these speaker rings, man. I am truly appreciate you guys watching all the videos, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. We are so close to 8K. Then after that, man, we're almost so close to 10K. I appreciate all you guys, man, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.